The league-leading New York Yankees, who have now won 5 in a row, and what a road team, winning 22 out of 28 on the road this year against the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers coming fresh from winning 3 out of 4 from Boston over the weekend, and now only 2 games out of second place. ABC's Monday Night Baseball is brought to you by Texaco, doing the whole job, finding and producing oil and converting it to the products you need. By Chevrolet, like baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie. Chevrolet is an American favorite. Drive a Chevy and believe. And by light beer, everything you've always wanted in a beer and less.
Everybody, and welcome to another great night of Monday Night Baseball. With Warner Wolf and Bob Uecker, this is Bob Prince here in Detroit, where close to 40,000 fans are on hand right here at Tiger Stadium to see if the young and ambitious Detroit team can flag down this Yankee Express. It's been a long time since New York has charged to the front, and they broke on top April 23rd, and so far have beaten back all challengers. Tonight, Detroit, fresh from a 3 out of 4 popping of the Red Sox, as Warner told you, stand before the Yankees and say, hey, let's get on with it.
Hi, I'm Warner Wolf along with Bob Prince inside the Detroit Tiger locker room. And, man, do we have a ball game for you tonight. But before we get on with it, as Bob Prince said, let's reevaluate and perhaps sum up what has happened with Charlie Finley in the situation. As you know, he averted a strike by playing Rudy in fingers yesterday. There is still a lawsuit pending. And last week, Bob Prince, you said that perhaps Commissioner Bowie Kuhn is baiting a trap. What did you mean by that?
Well, specifically, Warner, what I meant was that I felt that he stood on very firm ground. You'll recall that he acted in what he felt was the best interest of Major League Baseball by negating that deal. Now, I don't think he was involved at all in the legal aspects of it because he felt that baseball should not see 3 premier ball players go to 1 or 2 ball clubs on the basis that if this keeps up, what's going to happen is the wealthy club will end up with all the better players. So I think he's on very firm ground, and he baited the trap in this fashion because what's going to happen, I think, legally, will be that, of course, Charlie Finley will be upheld. Then the commissioner can say, well, I did all I could do, and here you are, Mr. Marvin Miller, here you are, Mr. Baseball player. You put yourself in a position now that you can't get out of, and all the good players are going to end up with the wealthy ball clubs, and the rest of you can go back to doing whatever it is you do best, second best.
Speaking of Charlie Finley, pitching tonight for the New York Yankees, Kenny Holtzman. And, Bob, you saw Holtzman come up with the Cubs in '66, and, of course, he later pitched for the A's and Charlie Finley.
Well, you know, I don't understand one thing about Kenny Holtzman. He seems to be an unhappy young man. Why? I don't know. He's a fine pitcher. He's not a great pitcher, in my opinion. Over in the National League, he won 74, lost 69, so he was up 5. In the American League, he's up 22. He's 82 and 60. Does this mean that the National League is a tougher league? I don't know.
Cubs weren't a great ball club.
Well, that's right. But Walter Johnson won a lot of 20 games, and he played on one of the worst clubs you ever looked at. I think you'll find that in the long run, that Holtzman is a fine player. One of the good things about Kenny is you can give him the ball, and he's going to go out and pitch without missing a turn, so you can settle your staff around him. Number 2, he's going to keep you in the ball game pretty much to the degree that even if he is behind, Warner, you have a chance to catch up. But why he's so unhappy and doesn't want to sign a contract, I don't know. If he were a great pitcher, I could understand it. He's not really great, but then again, he isn't all that bad.
And he speaks highly of you, Bob.
Well, I have nothing against him.
Okay.
Looking at the record, you know, and the record says that he owes him a few.
All right, on the other side of the fence, pitching for the Tigers, a gentleman I think we would have to refer to as a character. His name is Mark Fidrich. He's 21 years old. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts. He was not on the Tiger roster when the season began. They brought him up, and now Fidrich has a record of 7-1, has only lost 2-0 to the Red Sox. He has also completed 7 games. But the interesting part, and people are coming tonight, perhaps nearly 40,000, to see Fidrich. Why? Because he does such things as pats the mound between innings. He will talk to the ball. He will show a path to the ball. He will congratulate his fielders on the field after a great play. So Mark Fidrich is the man people have come to see tonight, and can he beat the Yankees? And speaking of the Yankees, they have loaded a lineup with 7 or perhaps 8 left-handed hitters. And Bob Uecker right now standing in the Yankee dugout. Tiger Stadium is a hitter's ballpark.
Right you are, Warner Wolf, probably one of the better hitting ballparks in baseball. And, of course, tonight we're going to see the red-hot New York Yankees. I've just seen them in a 4-game series in New York, probably one of the hottest hitting clubs in baseball. You know, when you're talking about hitting, you're talking about one of my favorite subjects. 200 lifetime batting average, tied me with another sports great averaging 200 or better for a 10-year period. I was bowler Don Carter. But, you know, a lot of people looking in tonight, I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, sure, you can talk the way you do because it was always easy for you. This is not true. I've had my problems. All incidents that happened during the ball game with me hitting, coming up in the 9th inning of a ball game, bases loaded, 2 outs, down by a run, and to look in the visitor's dugout and see them sitting there with their street clothes on. I've had incidents happen where I'd come home maybe a 0 for June, 0 for July, and I'll never forget what my dad used to tell me. Why don't you get a job? But these are little things that never bothered me. Maybe to look down at the third base coach for a sign, have him turn his back on you. Or maybe the catcher, instead of putting a sign down, just hollering out and telling the pitcher what to throw. But I think these are the things that really drove me on. You know, I can remember ordering bats. Sometimes they'd come back with a handle at each end. These are things that never discouraged me. I've had people ask me a lot of times, Bob, how long will a dozen bats last you? I would have to say, depending on what model, what weight of bat I was using, 8 to 10 cookouts. But you know, when you're recognized as a hitting star the way I was, it gets aggravating a lot of times to maybe walk down the street. I've had it happen in New York City, walking down the street with my catcher's equipment on, and people ask me if I was a ball player, recognizing me right away. But these are things, as I said, that drove me on. A lot of awards for hitting, and I think any youngster can have these same awards if you're willing to make a few sacrifices and to pay a price. And some of the bigger awards I have cost me well over $100 each. Warner, an outstanding ball game here tonight. The Yankees against the Tigers, and now back to you.
All right, thank you, Bob. Tigers and Yankees. The Tigers take the field, and now it's estimated 50,000 fans will be here tonight to see 21-year-old Mark Fidrich. Back with a Yankee lineup in just a moment.
State trooper cars put on tough mileage, but sometimes your car puts on tough mileage too, just like a trooper. That's why you should use Texaco's Haviland Super Premium Motor Oil. Recently, more than 40 trooper cars using Texaco's Haviland were driven a total of over 2 million miles. Of the engines taken apart, none showed any sign of unusual wear. With Haviland's carefully balanced formulation, you get all this protection without buying any extra motor oil additives.
Lush, tall, and strong, the trees of this great nation, oak, elm, and pine, all join in celebration.
During this bicentennial year, McDonald's is giving each of the 50 states 1,776 trees to plant. Strong young trees for whole new generations to enjoy.
Great majestic trees that raise their heads where eagles fly. Soaring, soaring, splendid, oh great giants of the sky. We do it all for you.
The starting lineup for the visiting New York Yankees, leading off and in center field, one of the hottest batters in baseball today, 27-year-old Mickey Rivers. Rivers hitting .330, is 18 for his last 36 times at bat, and is on a 20-game hitting streak. Rivers also has 24 stolen bases. Now the rest of the New York Yankees as they introduce themselves. Seen everywhere in the United States except in the Philadelphia area, which will see the Astros-Mets game. For Bob Prince and Bob Uecker, this is Warner Wolf. ABC's Monday Night Baseball has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television. Warner Wolf back with Bob Prince, and Bob Uecker still down on the field, where Mark Fidrich has beaten the New York Yankees 5-1. And Bob Uecker is down on the field, and I think he has some fan reaction to the fine performance of Mark Fidrich. Bob? This is Debbie Wykowski we're talking to right here, and tell me, what about your reactions to Mark Fidrich? Not only yourself, but all these people that stayed in the ballpark tonight.
I mean, what can you say? You love him. But what else? We love him. All right.
When did you start liking him? I mean, is this a thing that's just come on now in the last couple of weeks, or what?
Ever since I got to shake his hand. I mean, what can you say when you shake his hand and you get to meet him? You love him. He's a great pitcher. What else can you do? You love him.
You know, it looks like Mark Fidrich doesn't only have a good thing going with the young people. It's the old people alike. Every baseball fan here in Detroit.
Everybody. It's everybody, not just the young. Everybody. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves them.
When are we going to start? All right, we're going to send it back upstairs in a couple of minutes now to Warner Wolf. And that's a Mark Fidrich fan right here. All right, thank you, Bob. Why couldn't you get an excited fan? You know, the Olympics, of course, coming up in Montreal on Saturday, July 17th, right here on ABC. And everybody, of course, waiting, anticipation. So let's take a look at it. Else? Those Olympics will kick off on Saturday, July the 17th here on ABC. Bob, let's take a look at that scoreboard again.
All right, in the American League, Kansas City, Minnesota are still tied up at 2-2. Very big game for Kansas City because they're chasing right in there with Texas. That's the American League in there. Texas and Oakland in the 8th inning scoreless, and that's a big game. No word yet whether Bada Blue's working. I suppose by now, of course, that Rhodey's in that lineup. And Milwaukee, Cleveland. The final, Cleveland hangs tough, but they have beaten Milwaukee 5-3, and that's a team that will be very difficult to discourage. Boston's Red Sox on top of Baltimore. That's the final by the score of 12-8.
I'll tell you what that means, Bob. The Tigers are now only a half a game behind Baltimore, and still 2 games behind Cleveland.
Right. Now, here are the Philadelphia Phillies. They've won another one. They're 6-2 over Montreal. They have the best road record going you ever looked at, 23-7, which is sensational. And we'll be back with more scores in a moment as we see here in the 6th inning, Pittsburgh beating Chicago 4-2. And now let's go down on the field and talk again with Bob Uecker.
Well, we've got another Mark Fidrich fan down here. Not only a Mark Fidrich fan, a Detroit Tiger fan. This is Dennis Adolphus, and this is Tony right here. And talking with Dennis, I asked Dennis, how many games do you come? Is this the first time you've ever seen Mark Fidrich pitch?
No, this ain't my first time, man. I've been seeing every game he pitched here so far, and, man, it's been good.
How long have you been coming to Tiger games here, Dennis?
Man, ever since 1968 when the Tigers won the pennant, man. I ain't gonna never forget it. You know, I thought St. Louis was gonna beat them, but Tigers came on. Now I think they got another pitcher like Johnny McClain, and you see his performance tonight, man. You know, he was good.
Yeah, but this guy creates a lot more excitement than Denny McClain, doesn't he? This guy, I never saw people stay in a ballpark like they did tonight for Mark Fidrich, along with yourself.
No, man, I ain't kidding. He talked to himself on the mound. He play on the mound, man. He good, man. I don't know. You know, you can see everybody out there say he good. I know he's good, you know. That's all I can say, man. You know, he's real good.
Tony, can you talk? Do you know Mark Fidrich?
Mark Fidrich.
Yeah, he knows Mark Fidrich. Did you like the game tonight? Did you have fun out here tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yeah.
Did your dad buy you a hot dog?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back upstairs to Warner Wolf and Bob Prince.
All right, Bob, just tell that kid not to ad-lib anymore. Nice family down on the field, and I'll tell you, Bob Prince, Fidrich certainly brings out the family, and like you pointed out, old people and young people. And this guy is just great for baseball.
He certainly is. Now here's San Diego making a big run out in the West, and they're beating Cincinnati 3-0. That's the first inning score there. The big story out there, of course, is Randy Jones, and another big story, and the surprise is that Pete Babage is going to leave that ball club and go to Toronto as a general manager when they expand. That's the National League situation there. And our last score, Houston beat San Francisco 8-2 in an afternoon ball game.
Well, you know, Mickey Rivers had his 20-game hitting streak stopped. Earlier, Ron LaFleur had hit in 30 straight games this year. Roland Office had hit in 29 straight ball games. LaFleur went 2 for 3 tonight and now has an 11-game hitting streak. But, of course, if you're going to say hitting streak, there's only one guy, and that, of course, is Joe DiMaggio. 56-game hitting streak, and most baseball people will agree if there's any one record that will never be broken, that is it. 56-game hitting streak in 1941. And also, of course, I guess when you mention DiMaggio, a lot of people think of the Al Gianfrido catch in the 47 series. And, of course, the interesting thing was this was Gianfrido's last Major League ball game. Remember, he got into that ball game. And the pitcher was Joe Hatton, by the way. 1947 World Series. And one of the few times DiMaggio, there's Gianfrido's catch. DiMaggio showed displeasure. Watch, he'll kick the dirt. Normally a very poker-faced gentleman, but he actually reacted. Joe DiMaggio, 1947. Guess you saw him play a lot, huh, Bob?
Well, it would have been a home run if Gianfrido hadn't been playing him so very deep. I think Joe asked him that question. You know, incidentally, the other day at Yankee Stadium, I was with Lefty Gomez, who roomed with DiMaggio for 6 years, and he told me an amazing thing about that 56-game hitting streak. First off, Lefty Gomez presented a called the Gomez Plate to Floyd Bannister, selected this year as the outstanding collegiate baseball player, a great left-hander from Arizona State, drafted by Houston. But he said, Gomez said, about the 56-game streak, one of the reasons why it may never be broken is that there were at least 5 or 6 times when DiMaggio needed a base hit going into the 9th inning, and the Yankees rallied to get as many as 4 or 5 more runners to the plate in order to give him one more shot. You have to put all those things together to allow for that 56-game streak. And then, as you'll recall, Kenny Keltner and Smith stopped him on sensational fielding plays in Cleveland, and then he went on to hit, I think, what, about 20-some-odd more.
16 straight games after they stopped him, so it was 72 out of 73 balls.
I have to think, like you, my friend, that there's no way in the world that that one will ever be broken. Now, Bob Uecker's down on the field with some more fans. Let's go down there and listen in.
Yeah, we got a couple of more guys down here that we're going to talk to tonight. This is a set of twins, Keith and Chris Howe, and I know you guys are Fidrich fans. I know that. I know you're Tiger fans, too. You know what I want to ask you? Do you guys play Little League Baseball? Do you play baseball? Would you pattern yourself after Mark Fidrich, his style?
Yeah, really.
You mean you'd go out there and do all that dirt kicking and patting the mound and talking to the baseball?
Sure.
How about you?
As long as it works.
I think Mark Fidrich says the same thing, too. As long as it works, he's going to keep doing it. What do you like about Mark Fidrich? You first.
Well, I like his style, and I just like the way he pitches.
He doesn't keep you out here at the ballpark too long, does he? He wants to get it over and get back in the clubhouse.
Yeah, he's real nervous.
Are you nervous, too?
A little.
What about you? What do you like about Mark Fidrich?
I like when he gets on the mound, he don't take no time. He just rushes right into the pitch and gets him out right away. That's what I like about him.
Okay, you guys, thanks for stopping by. And now let's go back upstairs to Warner and Bob Prince. All right, Robert, don't forget next week in Philadelphia, the Phillies and the Dodgers, which will be seen everywhere except in Philadelphia, which will see the Astros-Mets game. Once again, the Tigers beat the Yankees 5-1 tonight here at 50,000 almost in Tiger Stadium. For Bob Prince and Bob Uecker, this is Warner Wolf, and have a good night.
This is ABC.